I think there is beauty in flaws. In fact, I find that, struggle and imperfection and even ugliness can have a beauty to it. That's a part of life. And I've definitely, as I've gotten older and, being an artist in some sense, I've come to understand that and appreciate that. And I think this collection is also, a part of that belief, for sure. My name is Steve Loff, and I've got the most unique PSA 1 collection in the world. I went a little bold there, but I think it is. But I'd love to meet the person to refute that. I want to see their collection, man. I want to see the other PSA 1 collection. I was always different. In high school, I wore my hat differently. I would flip up my bill, and no one was doing that. I had some old Chuck Taylors, some Converse. I had a red pair and a blue pair, and I would often wear the red and the blue on different feet most days. So I always kind of like to stand out, and I feel the same way with this PSA 1 collection. And I've always kind of been that way in my life. Like, how can I kind of, zig when everyone else is zagging? Finding your niche in the hobby is a thing, right? We call it, finding your lane. When I came back into the hobby, I was certainly, drawn to the value of the cards, PSA 9, PSA 10. But I stumbled across the 1993 SP Derek Jeter in a PSA 1. And I was like, wow, I'd never seen that. I haven't seen that card in that holder. And in fact, I hadn't seen it because it was a pop one, and I bought it. And it kind of started right there. I just thought the one holder was so cool and so unique. And I'll never forget posting the Derek Jeter on my Instagram account when I first got it, because I knew it would draw a response from those that followed me, right? And it was so much fun. Like, there was so much interaction and engagement on that one post that I was like, wow, this is something that interests other collectors, whether they think it's ridiculous or they think it's unique or they just think it's something different and cool. There was engagement. And then I started to go down the rabbit hole of like searching PSA 1s on eBay. 1966 Topps, Hank Aaron, saw this card. I mean, I know of this card, but I saw a video on PSA's Instagram. I think it was the National 2023. A collector had submitted this card and received the perfect 10, which was amazing. He was very emotional upon receiving the 10. So I really wanted a high-grade copy of this card for a long time. And then when I started on this PSA 1 journey, I was looking at Hank Aaron's in PSA 1, and sure enough, here was that same card, but in a real beater of a PSA 1. There's paper loss, there's creases, there's all types of issues with this example of the card, but still an amazing, iconic card. This card right here, my first national was in 2024. 1973 Topps PSA 1 Mike Schmidt. Not easy to find. Special player for me growing up. This is one of those you just find needle in a haystack. In this 1990 Fleer Michael Jordan in a PSA 1 bought on eBay. And anytime you could get the GOAT in any grade, Michael Jordan, you go for it. My forever set, 1981 Topps. This is the first set that I built as a kid back in 1981. I've had this card for 45 years. This is a PSA 1 that I have in a slab mag to add to the dramatic effect. It still remains, I believe, the only PSA 1 on the population report. 1989 Topps traded Barry Sanders. This is like the crown jewel of my PSA 1 collection. This is part iconic, part ironic, and part moronic. It kind of started as a goofball thing I was doing, and there are collectors that think I'm actually mocking the hobby and mocking some of these iconic cards. This guy is just being a clown. We want these cards in 9s and 10s. Why is this guy putting out a 1? But then I started to realize, like, it's really cool to just have this card in this unique holder and continue to build the collection. And I think I've even earn the respect of some of those collectors that thought I was mocking the hobby, and you know, they were kind of turning their nose up at me. They were like, okay, this guy is authentic about what he's doing here. There's beauty in watching the journey of a flawed person trying to get to a better place. There's beauty in the not so perfect day. There's beauty in the struggle. So when I think about these cards, I think there's beauty in the character of a card that's, you know, a Wayne Gretzky that's got this crease down the middle. These beaters, as I like to call them, I think they tell a story, you know, more so than a PSA 9 or a PSA 10, more so than a perfect example of a card. These cards have been handled, they've been loved. I think there's beauty in that. Cards, people, life situations, I don't think they need to be perfect to be beautiful.